It's time for Joyce's Thought of the Day on News Talk 850 WFTL.
As my friend Dennis Prager points out, the left demands that we believe and announce that men menstruate and give birth, and that it's in no way unfair to girls and women when biological men compete in girls' and women's sports. So in tens of thousands of American schools, students are getting brainwashed to believe that America wasn't founded in 1776, but really in 1619, the year the first Africans were brought to North America as indentured servants or slaves. This is the 1619 Project lie. It's labeled a lie by almost every leading historian of early American, many of whom are Democrats and liberals who supported the impeachment of former President Donald Trump. And now, with Hamas, a totalitarian, theocratic Islamist terrorist group which unleashed thousands of rockets on Israel's civilian population, and Israel responding to that repeated attempt at mass murder, the world's left demands that we believe Israel is the villain and Hamas is the victim. The left's condemnation of Israel and their sympathy for Hamas is just another example of the morally inverted world that the left has constructed. We live in a world in which the mass media and academia, all nothing more than the mouthpieces of the left, repeatedly tell the world that America fought the Revolutionary War in order to preserve slavery, that men menstruate, and that Hamas is a victim of Israeli aggression. How such gigantic lies have become mainstream truths is a question for another day. But suffice it to say, they're all as absurd as they are mendacious. The reason there's a war right now between Israel and Hamas, even in the midst of a ceasefire, is that Israel exists. It has nothing to do with anything Israel has actually done. Hamas and its backers in Iran don't have disputes with Israel. They have a dispute with Israel's existence. There is, therefore, nothing Israel can do that would satisfy its enemies except agree to destroy itself as the one Jewish state in the world. And for most, not all Muslims, and for most, not all Muslim states, and for the left, there's room in the world for 22 Arab countries and for more than 50 Muslim countries, but there is no room for one Jewish state, even one the size of New Jersey and smaller than El Salvador. They seek to destroy Israel. There's no parallel to this in the world. No groups or nations seek the obliteration of any other nation in the world. And this is in keeping with a history of anti-Semitism, which is not just ethnic or racial bigotry. I wish it were. It's extermination. Jew haters don't merely hate Jews. They want Jews dead.
Get Joyce's Thought of the Day anytime. Subscribe to her podcast right now on the all-new 850 app and at 850WFTL.com.